What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. So, we have some major breaking news coming in from Ukraine. So, apparently, Ukraine is going to mobilize 500,000 people, and this was requested by the president, Vladimir Zelensky. And what's interesting is this request comes just about a week after Putin said he has 600,000 troops currently fighting in Ukraine. So I don't know if there's going to be some kind of massive escalation in Ukraine very soon, if Russia's planning to make another big push in Ukraine. And that's why Putin was saying that he has 600,000 troops currently fighting. Basically, was that kind of like a hint that he's going to send 600,000 troops to Ukraine. And that's why Zelensky is now ordering 500,000 troops be mobilized. Okay, 500,000, guys. That's a huge number. Okay, and the total casualties from this war so far are pushing 750,000, guys. 750,000 casualties since the start of this war. Let that sink in. Okay, do a little bit of research, and you'll find that there's not many conflicts since World War II that had that many casualties. I think Korea was the last war that had slightly more casualties, but the Korean War actually had a lot more civilian casualties. Okay, so we're almost at Korean War levels of casualties. And if this is true, we're going to surpass Korea and we're going to be getting close to World War II levels. Okay, 500,000 troops to be mobilized in Ukraine. And this comes just a week after Putin announced that he had 600,000 troops currently fighting. All right, so get prepared, guys. It looks like there might be some big escalation in Ukraine very soon. We know that Putin is up for re-election in March. And here in the US, we have presidential elections in the fall. So Putin might be afraid that there might be a different president who might support Ukraine more than Biden has and actually give Ukraine proper weapons to push the Russian military out of Ukraine. So he may feel like over the next year, he has a window of opportunity to make his big moves. And that's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that he's going to try to take more land from Ukraine. I'm concerned he might try to go after Moldova. And I'm concerned that he might go after the Baltic region. Any of the countries from Poland up to Finland are vulnerable right now. We have a U.S. presidential doomsday plane in the air right now, and it had its transponder off. It was flying over western Illinois, and it turned its transponder on. You can see here that it just miraculously appeared out of thin air. That doesn't happen, guys, okay? Planes don't just appear out of nowhere. Okay, it was flying with its transponder off, and then it turned it on, and now it's going to land at Offutt Air Base, home of U.S. Strategic Command. So our nuclear forces are still on high alert. Here we have a nuclear war command and control plane up in the air over California. And last night, the Iceland volcano erupted, the one that's near Grindavik. It finally erupted. Here's a picture. There's a fissure that's 4 kilometers long. Okay, that's 2.5 miles long. And this fissure has lava spewing out of it along the entire length. That's insane, guys. What I'm going to actually do is at the end of this video, I'm going to play some footage for you. So stick around to the end of the video if you want to see raw footage of the eruption that I found. But here's a short clip so you guys can see how massive this eruption is. And the magma underneath this crack or fissure was building up for the last like 2 months. Okay, and it finally erupted. But this is just absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Another sign that we're living in the end times. Okay, the Bible says that there would be volcanoes, earthquakes, wars, pestilence, uh, all kinds of things. So everything that we're seeing happening now is biblical, guys. Look at this. This is just ridiculous. So at the end of the video, I'll play more footage for you. And here we have a map that was posted by the Icelandic Meteorological Office. And they show the location of this giant crack. And it's just to the northeast of the town of Grindavik, this red line right here. Okay, this is the crack. And it's really close to the town of Grindavik. Okay, so we have to monitor this thing, but this is just absolutely insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life. And we also have some concerning information coming out of Crimea. Apparently, Crimea is stockpiling food in case of an emergency. The federal government of Sevastopol is creating a 30-day food supply in case of an emergency. The Russian government decided to allocate 20 million rubles to the State Unitary Enterprise Management Company of Wholesale Retail and Trade Complexes of Sevastopol for the creation and replenishment of food and baby food reserves for up to 30 days. The document appeared on city government websites. It regulates the financing processes when creating a food reserve in case of a natural or man-made emergency. So this is very interesting that suddenly the Russian government would try to build up a 30-day supply of food in Crimea for baby food and regular food. Okay, so something big is about to go down in Ukraine, guys. Something huge. They wouldn't be building up food reserves for no reason, and Putin wouldn't be saying 600,000 troops for no reason. And now Zelensky says he wants to draft 500,000 troops. And we had some more incidents in the Red Sea this morning and last night. Here's one of those incidents. Apparently, a vessel was approached by several small boats. Looks like a boarding attempt, some kind of hijacking attempt. Here's another incident that was reported. So the situation in the Red Sea is not looking good. And I just want to remind you guys that Politico reported a few days ago that the U.S. is weighing strike options to deter the Houthis from more attacks on ships in the Red Sea. This was confirmed by two U.S. officials speaking to Politico on the condition of anonymity. They said that the Biden administration is actively weighing options to strike at the Houthis and that they moved the Dwight Eisenhower carrier strike group close to Yemen from the Persian Gulf for this particular purpose. And yesterday, the U.S. Defense Secretary confirmed the start of Operation Prosperity Guardian, which is going to be some kind of multinational operation to keep the Red Sea open. I don't know if they're going to strike Yemen or what they're going to do, but it sounds like that's what they're preparing to do. We had 3 U.S. Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyers transit through the Strait of Gibraltar this past week. And now we have confirmation that one of these destroyers has officially entered the Red Sea. The USS Laboon has officially entered the Red Sea. It was the first one to cross through the Strait of Gibraltar, and it went through the Strait of Gibraltar on December 11th, so 8 days ago. And behind it, there's 2 more coming. Each one of these ships can carry 90 Tomahawk missiles, guys. So do the math. You have 3 of them. That's 270 Tomahawk missiles. And that's just these 3. That's not including the Carrier Strike Group, which has its own guided missile destroyers and all the fighter jets. So get prepared, guys. Things are escalating in the Middle East. Things are escalating in Ukraine. And this update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, they have brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you have to use the link preparewithnyprepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. And this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all contained within 6 rugged, watertight buckets, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. Free shipping included, 25% off their normal price. Use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get the discount. They also have a 2-week emergency food supply, which is excellent for outdoorsmen or people who go vehicle camping. They also have a general store. If you click the My Patriot Supply logo at the top of the page when you get to preparewithnyprepper.com, it'll take you to their general store where they have everything you can imagine, from potassium iodide to water filters, solar generators, solar panels, survival seeds, fire starters, anything you can imagine, it's all there. So use the link preparewithnyprepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month freeze-dried food supply. And the link is in the description below this video. And U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has officially arrived in Bahrain to discuss Operation Prosperity Guardian to protect ships in the Red Sea. And the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran has announced the formation of a maritime militia to fight against the U.S. warships. And apparently the militia is going to include 55,000 volunteers with 33,000 vessels. And the vessels are going to be furnished with weapons such as 107 millimeter rockets. Okay, so guys, it looks like there's going to be a massive war in the Middle East, okay, between U.S. forces and Iranian-backed forces. And it's just going to escalate, because what's going to happen is we're going to strike Yemen. And then what's going to happen is these Iranian militias are going to attack our vessels. And then we're going to say, you know what, we might as well just attack Iran and deal with the source of the problem. So get prepared, guys. Things are really getting crazy. And I want to just show you guys this map here showing all of the shipping vessels that are trying to go around the Red Sea. All these yellow colored dots on this picture show the vessels that are going around the Red Sea. Okay, and this increases transit time by up to 2 weeks for these vessels. Okay, so it's having a huge impact on the global economy. And the chief of staff of the Iranian armed forces posted on Twitter saying that Iran will stand by the people of Yemen till the end. This was posted last night after Lloyd Austin made the official announcement of the start of Operation Prosperity Guardian. And this is what he wrote. He said, "We provide advisory and intellectual assistance to the Yemeni People's Army and stand by the people of Yemen until the end." Okay. The defense minister of Yemen said, "We have what will sink your fleets, your battleships, your submarines, and your aircraft carriers, and the Red Sea will be your graveyard." And Houthi fighters say they are capable of taking on any U.S.-led coalition in the Red Sea. So, it doesn't look like Yemen and Iran are going to be backing down. And a Norwegian shipping company called Wilhelmsen has officially announced that they will be halting their shipping route through the Red Sea. Wilhelmsen is ranked among the top 10 global shipping companies by fleet size and revenue, and they're the 7th company to halt shipping through the Red Sea so far. And we had BP announce yesterday that they're not going to be going through the Red Sea anymore. We have Evergreen, Euronav, Maersk, MSC, and Hapag-Lloyd. So 7 huge companies have already announced that they're not going through the Red Sea because the risk is not worth it for them. And Hamas launched a barrage of rockets towards central Israel, and apparently civilians were targeted. And apparently Hamas has built a military branch in Syria, and they plan to escalate attacks on Israel's northern border. This was reported by Khan News. And the IDF is moving deeper into southern Gaza in search of massive terror tunnels where Hamas chiefs are hiding. The Israeli army calls on residents in western and southern Khan Yunis to leave their homes as Israeli defense forces head towards more of the Hamas hubs. And Israel believes the hostages are also held underground there. The defense minister, Yoav Gallant, said that Israeli ground assaults will expand to more areas of Gaza, and Khan Yunis is the new terror capital, and the army will not stop until Hamas chiefs are in a cemetery or prison. Okay, so they're really expanding their operations in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza, and here we actually have a video that was released by the Israeli military, and it shows one of these tunnels that they found in the Khan Yunis area, massive tunnel. And Putin signaled that he could be ready to negotiate on Ukraine at a speech given to Russian military leaders today. He said, in Ukraine, those who are aggressive towards Russia and in Europe and in the United States, do they want to negotiate? Let them, but we will do it based on our national interests. We will not give up what is ours. So it looks like he's willing to negotiate, but he wants to do it on his terms. So I don't know if that's going to fly with Ukraine. He also made some interesting comments about Poland. He said many inhabitants of Western Ukraine want to return their territories to Poland, Romania, or Hungary, and only Russia can guarantee the territorial integrity of the Ukrainian state. The people who live there, many of them anyway, I know it for sure 100%, want to return to their historic homeland. Poles are just waiting for it to recover the lands that belong to Ukraine. So he's accusing Poland of wanting to take back parts of Western Ukraine, and he also accused Romania and Hungary of the same thing. Very interesting. And last night we had a NATO reconnaissance mission over the northern part of Norway, and this is near Russia's northern fleet based out of Murmansk. That's where Russia has most of their nuclear armed submarines. And there's also NOTAMs up for this area because Russia's going to be doing some missile testing here. So very, very interesting flight path going all the way up to the Russian Arctic. And here's a closer look where this thing was flying. Okay. This is right near where Russia was supposed to do their missile tests this week in this area. And it's also very close to Russia's nuclear armed subs right down here in Murmansk. And we also had a lot of reconnaissance over the Baltic region. We have here a P-8 Poseidon sub hunter that was doing loops off the coast of Poland. And there was also an aerial refueler doing loops in Estonia near the Russian border, and also in Romania near the Moldova border. So NATO forces are on high alert, and I want to show you guys some pictures from the North Korean missile test. This was the solid fueled ICBM. It flew for 74 minutes, which is absolutely insane, and experts estimate that this missile has a range of 9,000 miles, and it's solid fueled, which is very concerning. Okay, you can see this is a mobile launcher, so that's even more concerning because they can move this thing anywhere, and it's hard for us to know exactly where these trucks are positioned. Once they disperse these to the countryside, it would be hard for us to pick them up with satellites. So very, very concerning, guys. And apparently, German defense contractor Rheinmetall received an order from the German government to deliver several thousand missiles of various types to the Ukrainian armed forces. So Zelensky drafting 500,000, and now the German defense contractor sending thousands of missiles of various types to the Ukrainian army. Yeah, something's going on here, guys. The Russians have concentrated almost 80,000 soldiers in the Bakhmut area. Press spokesman of the 26th Artillery Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleg Kalashnikov, said 80,000, guys. That is insane. And here we have some video footage of that North Korean missile launch. And Japan intends to provide aid to Ukraine in the amount of $4.5 billion. And this was confirmed by the head of the Japanese Ministry of Finance. And in the coming weeks, Britain and Ukraine will sign a 10-year security pact, according to the UK Telegraph. There may be a breakthrough in the investigation at the International Criminal Court in The Hague. A Russian intelligence colonel and former Wagner Group instructor fled to the Netherlands, and he is ready to testify about Russian crimes in Ukraine and war criminals. And Russia will try to destabilize the situation in Moldova before the upcoming elections in Russia, President of Moldova, Maya Sandu, said. And that could be why they're doing those exercises right next to Transnistria. The United States and Denmark have signed an agreement on bilateral military cooperation, said Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. So the U.S. has already signed an agreement with Finland, and now they're signing an agreement with Denmark. So very interesting, guys. Something's brewing in Europe, I'm telling you. And Turks and Hungarians will win together in the 21st century, says the announcement made by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban during the visit of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan to Budapest. So Erdogan visited Hungary, and that's very concerning. Okay, it's almost like they're plotting against NATO, and they signed 17 bilateral agreements, including one on a strategic partnership. Okay, the Baltic Sea will be an active area of operations in the event of a potential war. It will be an important logistics and goods transport route. NATO has the maritime potential to protect transports, secure allies, and neutralize what threatens it in the Baltic Sea, says Commander Niels Markussen, director of NATO Shipping Center. All right, so NATO is preparing for a possible war, and they specifically are focused on the Baltic, guys. So that's pretty much it for this one. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll be back later on this evening with another update. So make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell below so you get notified when I post these alerts. And I'm just going to leave you guys with some footage from this eruption in Iceland. So I'll be back later on this evening. And until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.